Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the premiere of a brand new game. It is Tuesday, February 14th, 2017. That's right, it's Valentine's Day. So how better for you to celebrate the day of love, the day of romance. Not romance, romance. The day of passion. Yes. How better to celebrate it than to be here with me on stream all day, lopping off heads in For Honor, of course. I would not think of any other way to spend today. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome. How you doing? Yes, For Honor has released today. The big new release for the week. I'm interested to see what exactly the final version of this game is, because as you know, I've played two different versions. I played the early alpha last year, and then recently I just played in the multiplayer beta, which I did enjoy both, by the way. And I think the game is pretty unique and pretty interesting. But this is the full retail version, which also apparently includes a pretty decent length single-player campaign. Also, new classes, new online multiplayer modes. Seems like it could be quite interesting. So, today I'm checking it out all day long. Figured, why not? Let's go ahead and see what they've got here for a final package. So this first gameplay stream is going to be the single player. I figure let's jump into the campaign, let's see what it's all about. And then tonight I'm going to be doing a second stream around 7 p.m. Pacific time. That one will be about a 2-hour stream, okay? And that's going to be multiplayer. So we're going to get a taste of both the single player and the multiplayer today. Which is good. Good to get an overall feeling of what the final game is. I will be playing this during the week and balancing it with Neo, just so you know what to expect. Tomorrow, Neo will be on my first gameplay stream, but it's going to be a different kind of stream because I'm actually making a pot of homemade Italian sauce, which requires me about every 20 to 30 minutes to take a break and go stir it and season it. So tomorrow's Neo stream may start a little later than usual, but it's going to run a little later than usual. But it is going to have some frequent commercial breaks just to warn everybody, okay? And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing more For Honor, probably another session of the multiplayer. And then maybe what we'll do is on Thursday, I'll return back to For Honor and maybe try to finish up the single-player campaign on stream. And that way we can kind of alternate between the single-player and multiplayer during the course of the week, but that way Neo also won't become unplayed, okay? Now, later on this week, I am going to be doing at least one more session of Yakuza 0. I know that a lot of people have been following the playthrough and like it, but are a little disappointed that it's kind of gone on the back burner. That's what I knew was going to happen as soon as these new releases started coming out. There's not much I could do about it. I knew that was going to happen. And that's pretty much what's going to be for the next week or two, is you're going to see, you know, Yakuza 0 kind of squished in with the other stuff. The truth of the matter is that For Honor, once I beat the single-player campaign, really the multiplayer, I mean, am I going to be playing it insanely hardcore non-stop? Probably not. I'll probably play it a few sessions, you know, to get a flavor for what it is, and I definitely want to play all the game modes and all of that. But I don't know necessarily, you know, in the long term, how is For Honor going to hold up? I mean, I could be wrong. It could end up being the next Overwatch, where I love the game so much I want to keep playing it like crazy. But maybe not. I don't know, because we haven't played this final version yet, so I can't really give any kind of an opinion or anything yet, right? You know what I mean? Alright. So that's the deal for this week. For Honor, balanced with Neo, with a flavoring, a sprinkling of salt on top of the delicious meat, like that guy, the meme butcher. A little sprinkling of Yakuza 0 over all of my stuff this week. And then once I finally, you know, finish with For Honor, meaning, you know, I finish the single-player campaign, I finish up with the multiplayer, several sessions of it, I will be reviewing it for KO Gaming. Alright, so that is definitely going to be the next, you know, the next thing for KO Gaming, official content-wise. And then we'll go from there. You know, probably what's going to end up happening is the whole next week will be, after I finish with For Honor, a balance between Neo trying to finish it up and Yakuza 0. Because there's nothing else new really coming out for the rest of the month until Horizon Zero Dawn, which, incidentally, it launches 2 weeks from today, okay? So 2 weeks from today, so I have 2 weeks basically to finish up with these 3 games. I don't know if I'm going to. I guess we'll see how it goes. But, you know, we'll play it by ear. As I've said, this week is going to be primarily focused on gameplay. I know that last week there was a lot of edited content where I did my first impressions on Injustice 2 and my first impressions on Neo and all of that. This week is going to be more focused on trying to get in as much gameplay as possible so that I can review all these games for KO Gaming, okay? Alright. Now, before we get started, real quick, I've got 2 quick things to address. The first thing is that I want to let everyone know that I have decided on the patron goal for February. Sadly, I have not had a chance to make a picture for it to put it on the pre-stream here, but I want to announce it officially. I have updated my Patreon page at patreon.com/darksidephil, alright? The goal for this month is the Worst Games Ever Marathon. Now, if you don't know what that means, if we hit the funding level on my Patreon for this month, which is the same, I have not changed it, still that $1,025 or whatever. If we hit that funding level for this month, patrons who pledge $5 or more are going to be able to nominate and vote on terrible games for me to play in a marathon setting. Alright? Now, I've heard about some infamously bad games that people have actually asked me to play over the years. Okay? And usually I don't. Let's face it. You know, a lot of people, the viral bullshit that goes on YouTube. You know what I mean? Oh, it's a horrible game. Everyone has to do a video of this game because virally everyone likes to see someone play bad games or whatever. Typically, I stay away from that stuff, but being that I'm looking for unique stuff for these goals, I think this could be a fun one. Okay? So, FYI, the way this is going to work is if you pledge $5 or more by the end of this month, which, by the way, you have 2 weeks left to do so, to my Patreon, you'll be nominating and then voting on what games should be included in this marathon. And this marathon is either going to take place in late March or early April. The reason I say it that way is because late March has a ton of stuff coming out that people are going to want to see. And so I don't want to promise, oh, it's going to be definitely late March. And then, well, you know, I'm playing MLB and I'm playing the Dark Souls 3 DLC and people would rather see that than see me do this marathon. I obviously don't want to drop everything and screw up all the ongoing content, but it is going to happen. It's just going to happen at a time that makes more sense for the viewers. You know, when you would want to see it, maybe when it's a little bit more slow, okay? So anyway, what are the rules, the criteria for what could be in this marathon? Well, basically it has to be games that are readily available, all right? Meaning games that I don't have to buy a whole nother console to play. Games that either maybe could be easily played on PC or easily downloaded on an available console or easily emulated. Now, obviously, I have a PC. The PC has the ability to capture. So if, you know, certain games could be emulated nicely on a PC, I would be willing to do those as well, okay? So it depends, and that's, I think, unfortunately, I could tell you right now, there's a couple games that come to mind for me. One is E.T. on the Atari. I had that as a kid. I'm not even kidding you. I own that fucking game, and boy, did that game suck. That game was one of the most disappointing games I've ever played in my life. Another game that comes to mind that everyone always brings up is Superman 64, which technically isn't even called Superman 64. It's just Superman for the Nintendo 64. And infamously got called that because people didn't want to mix it up with other versions of Superman games that could possibly be better. This is really one of the worst games ever made. But here's the thing. I don't know if I would be able to play those games. Can you emulate those easily on a PC? I don't know. So I think what's going to have to happen is, you know, as people nominate these games, they're going to have to do a little bit of research and say, gee, would Phil be able to do this easily, you know? Is there an emulator setup or whatever that he could play with this stuff? So, so there you have it. We'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. But I think this could be a very fun event. This is an event people are going to enjoy, a variety of games that all probably are stinkers. So we'll see. But I think that, you know, if we hit the funding goal for February, this could be a great event coming up. So there you have it. I am going to eventually, I know, we're already halfway through the month. I don't even have it done yet. I want to make a thumbnail for this, or a little picture for this for pre-stream, but I've been so busy. Last night I edited these new intro / promotional trailers for both KO Gaming and DSPGaming, and I uploaded them for 2017, since obviously these channels have changed a little bit from what they used to be. And of course, the other thing I want to talk about on pre-stream, and then we'll get started. I don't want this to go too long, okay? The other thing is the video that I posted up on KO Gaming last night. This is how you don't play Resident Evil 7. I knew that when I decided to officially approve a This Is How You Don't Play video, and start to kind of open up and stop being so obstinate about people making these kind of silly videos and criticizing me and my gameplay and all that, and I knew that it was gonna have one hell of a reaction. And boy was I right. I've seen some great positive stuff. I've seen some ridiculously silly, stupid, negative stuff. I've seen people in the middle. Pretty interesting. Let's put it that way. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, all right, go to KO Gaming, youtube.com/KO Gaming 1, all right, and you'll see I posted up a video. I've officially sponsored / approved of one of these videos. This Is How You Don't Play, where people take my gameplay from one of my raw playthroughs, and they edit it into a funny montage that basically makes fun of me, calls me out on a lot of stuff, roasts me in a lot of ways. Just think about when you see a roast of a famous comedian or a celebrity. That's kind of what This Is How You Don't Play is, in a lot of ways, okay? So, I posted this up, and some people seem to really like it. They were like, wow, this is a good, positive change for Phil. He's opening up to this kind of stuff. He realizes now, you know, and it's funny because you say, yeah, 4 years later, I finally realize it, right? But the thing is, and I'll say this, I've said this before, I'll say it again. There is no handbook. There is no instruction manual on internet fame, all right? There just isn't. And for me, you know, when people started, against my will, not even asking me for permission, downloading my videos and making these montages that seemed to laugh at me rather than laugh with me and make fun of me and basically say that I suck and I'm a bad person, when I started seeing these videos, I didn't know how to react. I could have completely ignored them. I could have addressed each individual one. I could have laughed with them and kind of embraced it. And basically, I didn't do the latter. I did most of the former and none of the latter. Now, here we are years later, right? Years and years later, I obviously realize that, you know, doing the things the way that I did was not the right way to go about it. Being angry that people want to basically share my content or a certain aspect of my content is not the way to go about it. What I should have said was, okay, people obviously like to see me fail. People like to roast me. And that's okay, because I'm one of the very few YouTubers who's made a living showing 100% of everything I do with games. I'm not popular on YouTube because I have highly edited scripted comedy, right? Where I take out my fails. No, people like my stuff because I show the fails. And so what I should have probably done was embrace this phenomena and said, okay, people like to see the fails. Let's get people officially making these things, right? And instead of attacking, or not necessarily attacking, because it wasn't like I went out and I publicly started attacking everyone who made these videos, but it was always kind of like, well, if you make these videos, obviously you're a dick because you're stealing my stuff and stuff like that. Obviously I could have gone about it a much different way, okay? Let's face it, it's true. And, you know, now I can say that because it's 4 years later. But, like I said, there's no handbook for internet fame and no instruction manual on how to go about doing stuff the right way. It's all a learning experience. And trust me, I'm sure there are people who have watched me and my experience as a YouTuber, and they learned from my mistakes, and they're doing much better. Alright? So if anything, hopefully other people have learned. But it is what it is. I finally, 4 years later, I'm just kind of like, you know, I think I'm going to embrace it and see, you know, what happens. So some people wanted to submit these montages and stuff for KO Gaming, and one of them, incidentally, was This Is How You Don't Play, and I watched this video, and I'm like, this video's good. Now, there are obviously some things in the video that could be improved, And yeah, there's a few cringy moments, but for the most part, I watched this video and I laughed my ass off at a few in particular things that happened during it. And I'm like, why wouldn't I approve this? Why wouldn't I want to share this with more people, right? So, I post up this video on KO Gaming. Alright, and immediately, here's what happens. There's people who watch This Is How You Don't Play because they like to laugh. They think that it's funny, they think that it's entertaining, and there's some people that understand that This Is How You Don't Play only exists because I exist. And that if I were to go away as a business, that basically the whole source material would kind of be gone. Not to say that people haven't made these for other people, because they have. But you're never going to be as popular or have that core focus like they have since they started with my content, okay? Excuse me. So there's some people that understand that. And hell, there's actually a lot of people who saw these videos over the years, and they became fans of mine. They actually tune into the streams, and they watch my raw gameplay and everything, you know what I mean? So, oh, excuse me. So, those are good. Those are people who kind of tongue-in-cheek understand. They're laughing at me, but they also understand that, you have to laugh with me as well, and not just basically rip me a new asshole and make me look like a horrible person. Because if you do, I won't be able to do this for a job anymore, right? But then there's this other group of people that watch these videos, and they're just malicious, immature fucking dicks. The only reason they watch the videos is not necessarily for a laugh, but because they're malicious. These people actually want to see me burn. They want to see my business fail. They want to hurt me in any way they can. And so for them, oh, well, this is great because people steal Phil's content and make these videos and we can watch them without giving Phil any ad revenue. And he'll go out of business and we don't give a fuck. Even though they're so stupid, they don't realize that would mean that's the end of This Is How You Don't Play if I went out of business. But they're not that smart. I mean, if anyone who would have no morality or conscious, feeling of, oh man, I want to hurt someone I don't even know who's never done anything wrong to me, obviously there's something fucking wrong with them to begin with, right? So these people, they watch This Is How You Don't Play video. Now here's the thing. I have not edited this video in any way. This Is How You Don't Play video I posted up last night on KO Gaming. I didn't edit it. I didn't request that anything be taken out. I didn't say, oh, it's too harsh or too serious. This video must be tamed for it to be on KO Gaming. No, this video, you're seeing it in its original form. In fact, the only thing that was changed was there were 2 copywritten songs in it originally, and I was afraid that those were going to get flagged on YouTube. So I did ask the guy, can you re-edit it and just replace those songs with more generic music? But for the most part, you're seeing the original video. I didn't request anything like that at all, okay? So this video is an original This Is How You Don't Play. This is what it would have been. In fact, it is what it is because this guy already posted it on his own personal YouTube channel previously, but wasn't getting a lot of attention for it because the bottom line is so many people make This Is How You Don't Play now that they've all watered each other down and basically killed the whole phenomenon. So this guy was kind of upset that, he put all this time and effort into this video and no one was watching it. So I said, I'll feature it on KO Gaming. So I put it up, and you've got people, I swear to you, it's so silly, so stupid, right? And here's what it said. This video obviously was edited by Phil to be tame, and it's not a true This Is How You Don't Play. Or other people, this video is terrible because it's approved by Phil. Even though, keep in mind, this video was already uploaded without me or my permission. Because I uploaded it to KO Gaming, it immediately became bad. It doesn't make any sense. Some people think that I made the video, when I blatantly say in the fucking video, I didn't. It even says in the video who made it and everything. It's obviously not me in the video, talking in the video. Some people say that I edited the video to be tame. No, that's false. Completely false. Really ridiculous. Just silly shit. The crazy ass fucking conspiracy theories. Right? So just because I liked the video and I approved it and I posted it on KO Gaming, it's immediately bad. Despite the fact that it is legit, it was put up on YouTube beforehand. I have nothing to do, I have no hand in the making of the video whatsoever. It's bad. So that's the mentality of the idiot. That's the mentality of the dumb, immature moron who doesn't understand the whole mentality behind This Is How You Don't Play is supposed to be, yeah, we're making fun of Phil, but we're not necessarily being so malicious that we want Phil to fucking fail and have his business fail and, you know, have all this horrible stuff happen to him. There's actually a group of people out there that are so mentally deficient that because they watch those videos, this is what they think. They actually think I legitimately am. I'm a terrible person, and they wish death upon me, and they wish that people would come and beat me up and steal all my shit and burn my fucking house down, and they swat me and DDoS attack me. This is how mentally just nuts these fucking people are. And it's hilarious because you look at the video, it's got more thumbs down, right, than thumbs up, which is hilarious because it's a legit This Is How You Don't Play. So if this on its own was posted on the internet, oh, it's great because it makes fun of Phil, it's good content, thumbs up. But because I approve it and post it on my channel, oh, thumbs down. It just doesn't make any sense. And that is the mentality of these morons. So it's just so mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing that I'm reading the comments, I'm looking at, I'm like, these kids, I mean, and I say kids, but that's the sad part, is that they're probably not kids. These are actually probably adults who have the mental capacity of like a 4-year-old, and the things that they say and do, no actual conscious, intelligent thought, no morality, nothing. Just complete and utter spewing of shit onto the fucking internet because it's anonymous and because there's no consequences for it. It's so crazy. Now you read it, oh my god. But this is good because I was actually expecting this. I was expecting to see it, and I wanted to see what was going to happen if I approved the video, right? A video that was anti-me, you know, makes fun of me, roasts me. Now, automatically the video is bad. So there you have it. If anything, here's what this shows. There's a large group of people out there who like me and like my stuff. They might not necessarily approve of everything that I do and say, but they understand how it's entertaining. They understand how it's fun. And yes, every once in a while, you might make fun of me or watch a video that makes fun of me, but it's all kind of understood under the umbrella of, you know, I'd rather have Phil exist and be successful so that we can continue to laugh with or at him or whatever, right? It's the bigger good, the greater good, versus the other group of just retards. They're just so dumb that they actually would wish, like, actual pain to me and thing. You know what I mean? Like, how dumb can you be? You might really dislike someone. I really dislike certain people. I really dislike certain celebrities and stuff. But for me, to go after them, you know what I mean? And say, oh, I wish death upon this person. I wish that their whole business would fail and they'd have to go flip burgers as for a living. That's insane. That is insanity. And there's a group of people. This is how they think. Like, what? That is mental deficiency. And that's why it's so funny. I challenge you, go read the comments on the video, because you'll see there's two completely different groups of people. Intelligent adults are like, wow, this is great. Phil's embracing. This is how you don't play. This is a big change for him. This is, you know, good. We'd like to see more of this kind of thing. And then you got the other idiots. It's just like, oh my god. So anyway, I just, you know, very interesting. And, you know, I'd be curious. I got a few more people now who've contacted me and said, well, Phil, I'd like to maybe make one of these for you. You know, and yeah, you know, it'll have some nasty stuff in it, but that's the point, I think. Again, it's supposed to be a roast, right? So I currently have like 2 or 3 people who are saying they're going to start working on montages and stuff. I don't think that they're going to be coming out anytime soon, because I think some people have just started work on these, okay? But hey, as more and more stuff come out, you know, and are submitted to me, I'm going to keep releasing it on KO Gaming. I think that this community creations program is a great idea. I think it's going to work out positively in the long run. Oh, excuse me. And I think it's going to be for the best. I think people are going to like it. So, pretty cool. Alright, so anyway. Let's go ahead. Let's start with For Honor here. And see what the campaign is about. I'm curious. Let's see what they've done with this. Alright. Sorry, there's one really annoying person in the stream that was bothering me. And I got rid of him. Okay. Alright, folks. let's begin. Let's begin with For Honor, alright? Sound good? Alright, here we go.